You're now watching Qnews. Here are the top stories for this hour. Syrian state television has announced the fall of President Bashar al-Assad's regime, declaring what it called the victory of the Syrian revolution. This morning, the channel also broadcast a statement read by 9 individuals titled Statement Number 1. The statement confirmed the complete takeover of the Syrian capital Damascus and the release of all detainees. It also called for the preservation of all Syrian state assets during this transitional phase. Syrian Prime Minister Mohammad Ghazi al-Jalili has stated that his government is ready to cooperate with any leadership chosen by the Syrian people. He confirmed his readiness to facilitate a smooth transition of authority while urging the preservation of state institutions. Al-Jalili reiterated that Syria belongs to all its citizens and pledged to transfer all government files to the new leadership selected by the people. The Syrian Foreign Ministry has affirmed its commitment to representing the Syrian people with integrity. In a statement, the ministry emphasized that the homeland remains paramount, describing today as the beginning of a new chapter in Syria's history. It called for unity among Syrians and the establishment of a nation governed by justice and equality, ensuring that all citizens enjoy their full rights and responsibilities. Media reports have revealed a surge in the number of Syrian civilians attempting to cross into Lebanon. This comes as Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and allied factions have reportedly taken control of Damascus and other major cities. The situation has led to overcrowding at the border crossings, with many seeking refuge. The Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has released a statement saying that Egypt is closely monitoring the situation in Syria and reaffirming its support for Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The statement calls on all Syrian factions to prioritize national interests, unify their goals, and initiate a comprehensive political process to achieve peace and restore Syria's regional standing. The ministry also emphasized Egypt's continued efforts in collaboration with regional and international partners to alleviate Syria's suffering, support reconstruction, and ensure the safe return of refugees, ultimately aiming for the stability of the Syrian people deserve. UN Special Envoy Geir Pedersen has expressed the United Nations' readiness to support Syrians in building a stable future. He highlighted the need for transitional arrangements that ensure peace and reconciliation. Pedersen also called for prioritizing dialogue, unity, and adherence to international humanitarian law. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has stated that President Joe Biden and his team are closely monitoring the extraordinary situation in Syria. Sullivan also noted ongoing communications with regional partners to stay informed about the latest developments. In Gaza, 2 Palestinians were killed and several others injured when Israeli aircraft targeted a tent in Khan Yunis in the southern part of the territory. Medical sources confirm the deaths and injuries from the airstrike, which hit a shelter housing displaced people. Israeli warplanes also targeted al-Bureij refugee camp in central Gaza. An Israeli airstrike on the Nusayrat refugee camp in Gaza has claimed the lives of dozens of Palestinians, causing widespread destruction in its wake. Entire homes were obliterated, deepening the humanitarian crisis in the already besieged enclave. Amid the rubble, residents worked tirelessly with limited resources, pulling survivor bodies and remains from the devastation. Israeli airstrikes have carried out 4 raids on Beit Lahia in northern Gaza, while heavy artillery shelling set fire to residential homes near the Development Association in the area. Palestinian sources reported that 4 Palestinians were killed and several others injured when Israeli forces targeted shelters for displaced families in the Al-Mashaila area south of Deir al-Balah. Thousands of Israelis gathered in Tel Aviv last night, calling for a deal to release detainees held in Gaza. Families of the detainees accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of obstructing negotiations for political purposes and also held the Israeli military responsible for the deaths of 5 detainees during a bombing at their holding facility. Clashes broke out between protesters and police, resulting in several arrests. This concludes our top headlines for this hour. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more updates here on Qnews.